Assistant Superintendent Ishmael Pitt says the incident recorded by an officer's body camera, where a female officer is purported to have fired a shot, is now the subject of an investigation. The footage, dated May 22nd, captured what should have been a routine traffic stop. The clip shows a female driver attempting to drive off and being stopped. Pitt says while he was not admitting or denying that a gunshot was fired, he believes an investigation will reveal if the officer was justified in shooting. Asked if this meant the officer was in need of proper training, Pitt says he is an advocate for continuous training for all police officers.
We hope that probably within the next financial year that a special allocation will be made for continuous training. Not that officers are trained once every 4 or 5 years or only when they are within the academy. No, we are advocating for continuous training. Policing has become increasingly demanding. The public has a high expectation of us.
What was meant to be a routine shift turned tragic after a 20-year-old worker was crushed by a garbage truck in central Trinidad. Police say Deshaun Joseph of Springvale, Claxton Bay, exited the truck around 9:15 p.m. on Tuesday and was collecting garbage along Raghunath Street in Kelly Village. He was walking at the back of the vehicle when he was struck. As he fell, the truck rolled over him, killing him on the spot. Police say Joseph was an expectant father. Caroni police are investigating. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine has taken another dig at the handling of the investigation into the disappearance of 2-year-old Angela Tobias Plaza. At a plenary sitting yesterday, Augustine said Tobago police need better training when handling cases involving minors. Augustine said public trust in the integrity of officers is also imperative. On Monday, Augustine criticized the response of law enforcement in the first 48 hours after Angelo was reported missing from his Goodwood home on May 11th. The boy's stepfather, Shannon Miller, was charged for his murder on Saturday.
The TTPS must also undergo serious capacity training in learning how to investigate crimes against children and crimes committed within households. The THS is prepared to fund such support for TTPS. Cars, guns, and nicer police stations aren't sufficient.
Stay tuned for another news update at the top of the hour and for comprehensive coverage in our midday news and major newscast at 7 p.m. on CNC3.
You're watching CNC3.
Oh, good Thursday morning, Trinidad and Tobago. I just saw my colleague there, Ian Wilson, stepping in. Morning, Ian. He's going to come in from 7:30. Jason Williams, that's my name. I'm signing on for what I could say is going to be a very insightful Thursday. We're going to touch base with a legal mind to give a deeper perspective, walk through some of the legal hoops, I would imagine, that I guess the prosecution and the defense will have to jump through. I had a long talk with him yesterday, and he says that, listen, how it's not before the court just yet, he said we could actually go a little bit deeper, because I was really being measured for the last couple of days, because, you don't want to prejudice a particular case that's in the public domain and up for public contemplation, the way many are debating, and especially with the front page that we will unpack in a few seconds. This story is getting, new episodes every single day. And as it says here in the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, the protest turns ugly. I will explain how, why. Let's get into the program today. JW signing on for this, your morning brew on, well, it's Thursday, last Thursday of May 2026. See you soon. That's right. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good Thursday morning, Thursday, 28th of May, 2026. Let's get into the front page immediately. There is so much to unpack. Of course, good morning to you and yours, and good morning to the tremendous team, Rich, Nikisha, Leslie, of course, Amisha, the entire squad. We're here and we are out this morning. So many would have seen last evening on the news what transpired in Port of Spain yesterday. And we will give you a recap of that as I go through the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. I'm not surprised, it's on the front page this morning. It says, protest turns ugly. And we're seeing officers in riot gear. Now, this man was arrested. He was the first of two who went out yesterday. And I'm trying to figure out what's the charge here really. What, words? For raising your voice? For challenging authority? I mean, this to me is overreach. It's too much being done by the TTPS. And for some reason, like the hierarchy and those in charge are not reading the room. You're living, what, down Shaka Shakari or something? You all don't live on the main clearly, they don't, like some of these officers, you all don't live on the mainland, what? Yes, it's before the, well, it's going to be before the court, this kind of silly situation. It's up for public contemplation. And people just, you know, what they could do, really? These people not here with no bat. They're not here to, you know, disrupt, I would imagine, any kind of momentum. They're just there to raise their voice and to let their voice be heard. And, you know, we have seen this not only in Trinidad and Tobago, all over the world. People go out and protest, and the protest, it's met with this kind of strong arm, iron fist kind of hard man approach. And it doesn't work anywhere, anytime. I don't know, like, folks don't learn. We don't take a page from the history book. So today now, I'm sure it's going to be more meetings, more greeting. You know, it's like, no matter what's done and all the good work that's being done. And again, I will never go as far as what Shogunas did this week and broad brush all the police. I have officers who are close friends. My uncle was a police for years. As a matter of fact, when I left Erin and went to Komoto, I had such a unique experience being literally next door to the, well, back then the Komoto police station. It was the old station. Now there's a brand new spanking station to the front, obliquely opposite LC. And for those from Komoto, when I say these kind of names, you know I'm being sincere and honest here. I was literally stone's throw from the police station. I used to be there as a little child every day, playing table tennis, just hanging out with the officers. They were like uncles to me. And from a very early age, I recognized the kind of work that goes into being an officer, the kind of sacrifice that's being made, the conditions many were working under, because the station, looking back now, really wasn't of the best. So I'm always one to bat and to give the benefit of the doubt to the officers. But at this particular juncture in our history, at this particular juncture on our journey as a nation, I think there's a call for, at least for me, for empathy, for understanding, and for reading the room. And yes, you could go and tell the protesters, you know what, Olia, go home, take it down. But riot squad, I mean, look, pull up the footage. Now, I guess when you come out in that kind of kit, I guess the message is a strong one, and most people will say, you know what, let me go home. But then again, it's like you literally give the protesters what they wanted. I'm sure many of them probably made up their mind, probably said, whether you say jokingly or not, that, you know what, I'm willing to make a jail. And it's like, when that kind of fiasco takes place, who end up with the egg in the face? No, the protesters naturally. Look, I mean, this man especially, what did this man do? This man was by himself, you know. Yes, he's talking loud, he was making a scene. And I myself, I don't like when people carry on and disrupting the place. But I don't think that gives somebody a means to arrest them, though. So you see this fiasco, that is exactly, you know, the protesters. I talked about it this morning. All the talk shows on radio and TV will be talking about this morning. It's on front page everywhere. The protesters, you gave TTPS, well done. You gave these guys exactly what they wanted. Another reason to show and to say that all you're quote unquote wicked and you're not reading the room and you don't understand what's going on. Yes, what is yesterday? I didn't feel good about it at all. I didn't feel good. And we too, as a nation, too, we also need to understand that, listen, when it comes to authority, as granted, and I'll say this, not to defend what the officers did, right? But granted, officers went in a bit strong arm it still is not as severe as what we see in other jurisdictions, where police come with tear gas. It's not long talk. Certain parts of the world when officers pull up in riot gears because them coming to really shake up the place and to deal with you in a most brutal manner is rubber bullet, tear gas, horse. We have seen it. Thankfully, we have never gone down that particular road. I recall during the protests by the Savannah with the COVID scenario, that was a bit, again, kind of far-reaching. They went a bit farther. Tear gas bus, children were coughing. It was a scene. But I said all that to say that we too, sometimes we need to just follow certain instructions and not really challenge authority. I mean, we find ourselves all the time having to, it's almost like you want to challenge every single time. Authority steps in, you want to, why, and thing, and you will never make them kind of bad joke when you go overseas, right? So as promised, we're going to treat with that scenario there. I'll tell you what's happening before I head to the back page. Well, Peter Christopher steps in for the Business Guardian. And then Fareed Ali, criminal attorney, will give a deeper perspective on the charges laid against Kaya Sealy, evidence and due process, and public reaction and the impact on the case. I don't know if we'll really weigh in on the protest yesterday, but we will treat with that during the course of the morning. And also condolences this morning to the family of sanitation worker Deshaun Joseph. Very unfortunate situation. Young man too, at 20 years old. A real heartfelt condolence to his family, his friends. Oh my goodness, I really feel away with this story here. Yeah, we'll have to put a pause on it right there. Heartbreaking indeed. Let's head to the back page. I don't really stay too long on the back page on a Thursday because that's Ian's role and function. But of course, congrats to the Crystal Palace, champions of Europe in terms of the Europa Conference League. And we saw Carnides in the mix with his Trinidad and Tobago flag. So far, it's a 1-2 for English teams. Aston Villa last week, Crystal Palace yesterday. And I'm keeping my fingers and toes and I'm praying that Arsenal bring it home on Saturday in the Champions League. That would be the perfect cherry on top of perfect cake. Let's head to the brief on this Thursday morning. Muslims celebrate Eid-ul-Adha with prayer and gratitude. We spoke about that yesterday in detail with Imam Ali. Very timely conversation. Well done to our producer Nakisha for putting that together. Up next, your Business Guardian breakdown. Peter Christopher joins me. Next, sit back, relax, and enjoy. See you soon.
Live in Sold Out on Saturday 6th June at the Magdalena Grand in Tobago and Sunday 7th at Napa Porta, Spain. Save $50 on tickets bought by Saturday 30th May. Available in Tobago, Cass Supermarket, Yachts Marketing, Orange Hill, Crosscutters, Scarborough, Caribbean Jewelers, Lowlands Mall, Victory Outreach Church, Scarborough, Dominion Appliances and Gift Shop, Conby, Tobago. In Trinidad, Crosby St. James, all extra food supermarkets, Simon's Music Supplies, Board Street, all Kenny's Sports Stores, Dominican Bookstore, St. Finbar's Compound. Online at islandetickets.com. For more info, call 358-6397. Sherwin Gardner, Sold Out.
Looking for the ultimate gaming experience? Welcome to Phase 22 Gaming Lounge, where gamers of all ages come to play, compete, and have fun. Dive into your favorite games on PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, or race on our high-tech racing rigs. And experience the thrill of VR with PlayStation and Meta Quest. Our lounge is safe, comfortable, and perfect for everyone. When you're done, check out the latest gaming systems, accessories, and even Samsung and Apple phones. Visit us on the second floor of Gulf City Mall or call 786-2404 to book your gaming session today.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
What if we each took one small action today that could have big impact tomorrow? What if one family took a stance to reduce waste in our landfills? What if one school made a choice that can lead to a greener Trinidad and Tobago? When you recycle glass, you create jobs, reduce waste, save resources, and help preserve our environment. Glass bottles and jars are 100% recyclable and can be reused indefinitely. Recycle your glass and join the Glass Loop movement today.
Peter Christopher steps in this morning for the Business Guardian recap. Peter, good morning to you. As always, great to have you on the program.
Good morning, and congratulations to you as a long-standing Arsenal fan. Congratulations on finally bringing it home in the Premiership, and hopefully good luck to your team on Saturday.
Pete, trust me, I really appreciate that, man. I know it's coming from a sincere place, so thank you so much. Indeed, I look forward to Saturday. I also look forward to what's inside the Business Guardian. Walk me through what's on the front page. I mean, I'm seeing where quarries, the quarry operators, when you say somebody up in arms, we know it's water, mud, and flour, as we say in local parlance. It's pressure. What's going on?
Yeah, well, the quarrying sector has been one that's been controversial for some time, but recently some holdover letters were issued so that essentially it was like an extension of their license, a permit that they had to operate. Some of the quarrying operators got a letter earlier this week to just basically, extend their current terms and licenses, but it has raised some questions from other members of that industry who have some concerns about how the industry is being regulated and have had these concerns for some time. So what has happened is that the Mining and Processing Aggregates Association of Trinidad and Tobago has, sent out a statement asking the Ministry of Energy, to clarify what exactly is going on with regard to regulation within the sector. And they would have sent out Freedom of Information Act requests so that they could get some idea of, why is it appear to be an equal playing field within that sector, given its importance to the construction sector of Trinidad and Tobago?
That story, you could read all about it inside today's Business Guardian. I'm watching Anthony Wilson's story, and it's to treat with a recovering market, and he's asking another provocative question, or at least a relevant question. I won't say provocative this morning. He's saying, have TNT stocks reversed their 4-year decline? What's the takeaway from Anthony's story here, Peter?
Well, as the headline suggests, our consultant business editor has been paying attention. He's very much an avid follower of what's been happening on the Trinidad and Tobago stock market. And he's seen some positive turnaround within the stock market that is surprising to him, because earlier this year, the Business Guardian would have reported that, the stock exchange has been on a 4-year decline. But recently, we started seeing signs of life and really good indicators that the stock exchange is turning around. Even yesterday in the Unit Trust Corporation's annual general meeting in San Fernando, that fact was alluded to, that, we're starting to see some returns, some really positive returns from the stock market, despite, what had been 4 or 5 years of decline or stagnation. And it's really interesting because this was not predicted by many of the industry insiders, people who would have greater knowledge of the stock market. In fact, he alludes to the fact that in February, Richard Young was calling for something to be done to halt the decline on the stock market. But now we're seeing some things happening. He's asking if that has something to do with TTNGL's payout of dividends. But whatever is happening, he's really trying to hone in on what is really driving this recovery and if it is set to continue.
Let's head now to Southeast Asia. We are watching where one of the world's emerging economies, India, on the cusp of some great things to the point where they actually just start the process of a bullet train factory. So real things are happening in India. And because of that, I would imagine we are looking to tighten, because the ties are already there, but I'm sure it's to tighten up and to expand. Is this something we can all embrace and enjoy in the foreseeable future, Peter, based on the story?
Yeah, Raphael John Lal would have pinpointed some things that were highlighted during the recent visit by India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. Jai Shankar. And he also spoke with the head of the TNT Indian Business Federation, economist Dr. Valmiki Arjun, about some of the opportunities that could be developed between Trinidad and Tobago. They spoke about developments in the pharmaceutical industry in terms of some of the regulations and strategies we could adopt from India. Additionally, they spoke about the plans to adopt the UPI, the digital payment system, as well as some of the efforts that we could use to bolster agriculture by partnering with India and taking up some of the strategies that they have utilized to build their economy, because now they're one of the stronger emerging economies, or not just emerging, they're basically one of the powerhouses in the global economy at this time.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, that story and so many others, definitely. I would say another one, we won't really go into no detail, but I'll let folks know there's a story on a Trini from Bonaire who's making some waves there in New York. She's now an event planner. And even your story, speaking to poor emotional intelligence and its impact on productivity. And you got some great advice from our expert, Judy Joseph McSween. Peter, as always, sincere thanks. It's action-packed one this morning, so we got to run a bit early. But you have a safe weekend and a week ahead, and we will touch base soon.
Yes, a safe weekend to you as well. I hope everybody enjoys the Indian arrival holiday weekend.
Most definitely, we will. That is Peter Christopher from the Business Guardian team, touching base. Up next, criminal attorney Farid Ali joins me to unpack and to really do a deep dive through the legal perspective on this ever-growing situation. Every day there's a new development, and of course we saw new charges coming into the fold just some days ago. So let's treat with that. Farid Ali, he joins me next.
Panadol's new formula, 5 times faster than other paracetamol brands. There's no time to waste during special moments. When I need fast pain relief, I choose Panadol Rapid. With its new formula and exclusive technology, it's 5 times faster than other paracetamol, giving me effective pain relief. And it's also gentle on my stomach. Because my greatest gift is giving them special moments.
Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung, and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2, Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services. We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance. But we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza in Deba Chaguanas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
It's such a pleasure when you're living here. I can stay at home. It's such a pain when you disappear. I'll be all alone.
Criminal attorney Farid Ali joins me this morning to unpack some of what's happening with the Kaya Sealy case. We're going to treat with the charges. We're going to treat with evidence and due process, forensics. But I want to start firstly with what's on the front page of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. Before we go there, let me just say welcome and thank you so much for the time, and I look forward to the council this morning. Farid.
It's a privilege to be here. Thank you for having me.
The front page says Kaya appeals for time, insists that she's no fugitive, but says she needs to complete medical treatment abroad. This particular development with her being overseas and appealing for time, is this one that will be taken into consideration, understanding all the factors involved here, the fact that she is, well, outside seeking medical attention? What's your interpretation of this particular appeal by her defense team? They had a press conference yesterday, and this is what they were asking for.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with she seeking additional time in order to return to Trinidad on the basis of the medical care that she needs. When we examine the facts of this matter, given the injury she suffered, is four gunshot wounds, and one is alleged to have placed her in a position where not only is she medically impaired, but there's some paralysis involved.
Yeah.
So the medical care that is required may be escalated. If she provides evidence, medical evidence from her doctors out there, that her condition is such that she is not cleared to travel at this stage, or she cannot travel. Remember, she's taking a commercial airline. A commercial airline isn't equipped with the medical facilities to accommodate a situation should it present itself. The invasive surgery that may be required, or the invasive treatment, may warrant special elevated levels of medical care that cannot be provided orally. And so when she asks for time in order to present herself, in terms of the criminal justice system, we have persons who are at large for many years and their warrants out for their arrest and they can't be found. What is unique about this is she is presenting herself and saying, hey, I am here. I am addressed. I'm living at this address. I'm in the United States. So it's not that she's hiding from them. If it is our security personnel here, our TTPS is of the view that in some way she's malingering, that she's pretending to be ill when she is not, then steps can be taken in order to present themselves in the U.S. and work in tandem with U.S. security services, police, federal agents, and put things in place in order to monitor her stay at any facility. She doesn't, if she leaves, or she has any notion that I'll leave and I will get away from the hospital and avoid returning, that's a different thing. Yeah. But at least she can be monitored whilst out there. Our relationship with the U.S. is of such where security services to security services, the FBI in tandem with Scotland Yard, in tandem with perhaps our security or our TTPS here can put measures in place.
Interpol and all these different things come into play. Let me ask you though, because this scenario, and it's sad to even say this, it's not new. I know you have your papers there clearly with similar situations of shootings involving the police and citizens. This one though seems to feel different. We're getting a sense that the public is very much engaged, and I think it went to a whole different level when the charges were laid against Kaya Sealy. Obviously, we all could recall the unfortunate footage, but clearly the officers, I'm thinking here, would have some different angle to this, hence the DPP putting the charges forward. So let's treat with the elephant in the room. How could a manslaughter charge be placed on someone who, based on public contemplation, would have seemed from the footage to be on the receiving end of a very a deadly encounter, obviously, with the TTPS? Because people kind of say, but how the math's not maths in a lot of the civilians' mind. Walk me through the legal parameters as to how a manslaughter case or a manslaughter charge could come towards someone who's sitting in a car on the receiving end of bullets.
Well, let's look at it from this point of view. Murder is the unlawful killing of a human being with the intention to kill, or it's the unlawful killing of a human being with the intention to cause serious bodily harm. The marriage of the unlawful killing, or the marriage of the killing and the intention to kill is what makes an act of such a nature murderous. With manslaughter, there's a difference. Manslaughter comes under two categories, voluntary and involuntary. The voluntary aspect of manslaughter is I had the intention to kill, but in killing, I was provoked into killing. Provocation is a partial defense that is available to persons who kill with the intention to kill. That defense may be born out of somebody causing me to commit the act that I did. It's almost like a loss of self-control.
Like a crime of passion is what they call that.
If a man in a relationship finds out from the woman in the heat of an argument that the child he has been minding for the past 10 years as his is not his child, and in that moment he loses control, he finds out that, that Fabian is not my boy. He, in that split pinpoint of time, loses control. Her actions and her words triggered in him something that caused him to react with deadly force.
And vice versa, because women are sometimes also triggered and they could act
right
in a particular
and vice
way.
Versa. So that area of voluntary manslaughter pivots on the fact that I am killing, I know that I'm killing, I know I'm causing serious bodily harm. My actions are deadly actions.
I was triggered.
I was triggered by something.
What's involuntary?
Involuntary deals with two things. It could be gross negligence, where a doctor performs a procedure. He did not have the intention to kill. He embarked on this activity in such a way that, he had the best of intentions to preserve life, but something medically, procedurally, he did wrong. He got it wrong. And it was his own negligence. So the doctor owes a duty of care to perform his function to the best of his ability and to follow certain procedures. He may have lapsed, he may not have followed certain precautionary measures, and somebody lost their life. It applies also with a taxi driver. The taxi driver is drunk and he is conducting his maxi somewhere and he runs off the road, causes somebody's death. So that's involuntary. But where this Kia Sealy matter pivots is another area of involuntary, which is unlawful act manslaughter, and that is where the criminal justice system is pivoting on her. But for her actions in terms of firing a Glock at the police, firing shots at the police, 3 shots they said were rang out, the police would not have had reason to return fire. So under gunfire, the police responded with gunfire.
And obviously that's a claim of the TTPS, but I would imagine now here's where we go to evidence, because forensics through an autopsy will have to determine where the entry point of said bullet, especially as it pertains to Samaru, her common law husband who died at the scene. So all these are considerations I would imagine. And then even, let's take it a step further, Fareed. No one is asking as to why there was even a high-speed chase in the first place. One really must wonder, and again, we're not trying to cast no aspersions here, but obviously there was a chase. A chase comes about when adrenaline, something, you don't want to interact with the police at that point in time. So walk me through from even will that be a major part of this case when it goes before the court?
When evidence is admitted and presented in a courtroom, you would have different witnesses. You would have a first respondent, which is somebody who responds when a call is made that someone has been shot, in this case, Kia and Joshua Samaru. But there are also persons who would have been involved in this matter, meaning police officers in the sting operation from as early as Maloney. That 11-kilometer journey from Maloney to where they came to a stop at Bassey Street Extension in St. Augustine, that's a 12 to 20-minute journey. What would have transpired is they, according to what is written in the newspaper, if the paper is carrying the correct story, is they're saying that there was a sting operation. Samaru had a conversation with a gentleman in Maloney with regard to the purchase of a firearm. He turned to her, meaning Kia Sealy, and she moved a Glock from her bra and handed it to him in order to present it to the informant. At some point in time there, Joshua recognized that something is wrong, that the informant, through his actions or through his own feelings as to what is transpiring in that moment when he's conducting the transaction, decides to abort the operation, reverse the vehicle and drive out of Maloney. That is when the police gave chase. So she said, based on what is carried in the newspaper again, based on a statement she gave following the incident, that she was reaching out to him while they were in the vehicle and saying, "But why don't you stop? Why it is you're not slowing down?" He was saying words to the effect that, don't worry about anything. So it appears that from her words, her commentary on what took place via the statement, as it is alleged in the newspaper, she basically is throwing him under the bus in the statement. She's saying that she was not aware of what was happening there. She is denying that any Glock was on her person and that she handed him any weapon. But she is saying that she was communicating with him that he ought to bring the vehicle to a stop. So he, in engaging the officers in that 11-kilometer journey from Maloney to St. Augustine, could have prevented this by pulling her aside. The fact that he was running for some 15 to 20 minutes, 11 kilometers, should awaken in the public's eye that why is he running if he's innocent? Why is he escalating this problem beyond what it should?
As they always say, for three sides to every story. There'll be the TTPS side, there'll be Kaya Seeley's side. Of course, Joshua can't speak for himself, he's gone, but we're seeking the truth. And I guess that's where the evidence will have to really stand up in court, because if one claim is that she fired shots, I'm thinking, where is the residue? Where is the weapon? Because most people, so let's look at the footage here, Farid. People are thinking that the shots would have been fired at this particular juncture. Again, we don't know. We don't know what was presented in the DPP, but we know that charges and more charges are laid on Kaya Seeley. And this one would have really engaged public attention. What do you think makes this case a bit different compared to others in the past? Because you have so many similar situations with police-involved shootings.
We've had shootings of this nature through the years. In 2020, there were 3 young men shot in 2nd Caledonia in Mova. Similar circumstances where they were presenting themselves in terms of their hands out of the vehicle and police shot. The autopsy report reflected bullet entry wounds to the back of the head, to the back, down their backs, down their legs. We've had a situation in 2020 again, July, where 3 young men, 21-year-old, 22-year-old, and a 17-year-old was shot in the vicinity of Chacon Street, where they crashed into the Republic Bank area. Again, police giving chase and shooting with them. Again, passers-by saying that the young men's hands were out of the vehicle. There was one survivor who gave his version of the story in that. I think what makes this case particularly attractive is the fact that it's 2 young persons. This young man is, in this instance, caught on camera, actually running his glass down and pushing his hands out the window. We're dealing with a young lady here who has no history of criminality, so it's not a man, it's a woman. And people generally have a partial disposition towards women. But what makes it interesting is, why did the police take 4 months to come forward and say there was a gun in the vehicle? And if it is she shot at the police, this was only presented within the last week. It was not in the public space that shots were fired from the vehicle, meaning from the front forward passenger, meaning Kaya Seeley, and towards the officers, the 3 officers who were outside of the vehicle. Had this information been revealed, and had the officers engaged the correct procedure in terms of forensic testing, that science could have proven Kaya Seeley wrong or proven her right. To say it in another way, anytime a gun consists of a slide and a butt, along the slide would be that striking pin. A shell of a bullet is contained within the slide. That cartridge that is struck, that releases the projectile, to the back of the cartridge, the back of the shell that contains the bullet, is gunpowder residue. So there's a blowback effect when a shot is fired. And if she fires 3 shots, the blowback effect is going to leave gunpowder residue not only against her hands and her clothing, but the fabric in the vehicle against the inner workings of the windscreen along the dashboard. So, and this is lead. I mean, the material that is being released, the blowback, is lead. If they were to examine that vehicle right now, as we speak, 4 months after the fact, and they examine the fabric, they will find lead remains within the vehicle. So the science will disprove it. The science will disprove the theory that she was not firing, or the science could prove that she was. If it is, the question is, was she swabbed? Was her hands and her clothing swabbed right after? Had she been involved in gunplay, then it's standard procedure to swab her. And the blowback will also be in a vehicle. If the glass were up, chances are that the air condition was on. So that would be all over Joshua also.
And it begs the question also as to if indeed she was a person of interest, why was she allowed to leave? All these are factors. And I'm thinking, granted, she's asking for time, so I guess based on what her defense team is saying, she should return, and I guess she will return. But this is such, in your years of being in the legal space, have you ever heard of any case with this kind of the dynamics that presents itself with this particular development, with a suspect, person of interest being away, being injured, being there while somebody was shot and killed? This is quite a unique scenario.
What is unique here is that she is abroad and she is accessing treatment abroad. I've never heard of an instance where someone was allowed to leave the country with a view to returning. But these are special facts. There was an instance a few years ago where an incident where a Valsian couple was arrested in relation to a missing child.
Yes,
a child of the family who it is alleged she was killed and buried in the backyard. The officers were able to forensics extracted the remains of what appeared to be human remains from a space in the yard. And it was sent for forensic testing analysis. It was determined some months after that it did belong to the missing person. And those individuals who were under arrest in the time frame, the 3-month time frame it took to get the results, they were released and they were rearrested later on and charged for murder. So it's not improbable and unreal for somebody to be released and rearrested, especially if the officers would have had a conversation with the individual and said, listen, we're releasing you, but the investigation continues. We would like to get some sort of assurance that you would allow the investigation to run its course, you wouldn't flee. If they have the view that we need to seize their passports, then that sort of arrangement could be done voluntary or involuntary, meaning that if they have nothing to hide, they would willingly hand over their passport to take any suspicion out of the officers that if released, they may wish to leave. In this case, no matter what is special is she suffered injuries, and if it is access to medical care could only be done abroad, or let us say she has some sort of affiliation with the U.S. and could access medical care at an advanced level there that could put her in a better position to return, then there's no reason why she shouldn't be. That sort of assurance can be given. It's all depends on how comfortable the local police is with regard to her travel. She may have given assurances that she would return. And it's not difficult to get her. Let us say she refuses to return. There are extradition proceedings that they very well may be able to initiate to get her back here. Or it may not be needed to expedite any extradition procedure, because our law enforcement could make contact through the embassy with her to get the federal government involved, to get state authorities involved, and they could reason with her and tell her, listen, you don't want to be extradited, perhaps you should return, and give her the choice.
I think if there's nothing to, if you know within your heart that you've been on the wrong end of this, and you want your justice and you want the truth to come out, I think, anyone in that scenario, as tough as it might be, you will return and face the system and show and prove that you've been wrong. But again, we're dealing here with evidence. We're dealing here not with feelings. This is before the court. And I would imagine whatever evidence the DPP would have received, it would have been strong enough for him to go forward. And I guess that's what's causing this massive gray area, this confusion, this outpouring you're seeing. I mean, people protesting. It's as
I
you
think
said.
what invokes the human emotion in this matter more than anything else is the fact that the police was not communicating as to what all the facts were in this matter. Yes, they were saying that it's an investigation, it ought to be private. But the CCTV footage and the videos that went viral is not helping in terms of keeping the public quiet.
Yeah.
The people are reacting to what they see and they're not getting answers. An error, if I may put it, that the police made is that they reveal things 4 months after the fact in terms of she having a weapon in the vehicle and shooting, which was never part of the plot from very early.
Yeah.
So they created that speculation in the way they handle things. Hopefully, their modus operandi moving forward will be different.
Well, Fareed, as always, I want to really thank you for laying it out. We didn't go into any fantasy this morning. We were able to treat with it in real time with the facts that are in front of us, and I guess is now to see how this plays out via the justice system. Fareed, keep us posted, and let's keep in touch, man. If this development on others, I like the way you're able to break it down in a way we could all understand.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me.
Criminal attorney Fareed Ali touching base with us this morning. And with that, we get ready for our police and news segment. We are treating with road safety, but of course we'll have to deal with some of the major talking points of the day. Officer Russell steps in next.
Legends need to be celebrated while they can still hear the applause. Trinidad and Tobago, let's show our appreciation for this Calypso giant in Thank You, David.
Saturday, June 6th at Napa, Port of Spain. Sunday, June 7th at Sapa, San Fernando.
2 nights, 1 legend, countless unforgettable songs.
Celebrating King David in his presence and performing some of his many hits include Roger George, KV Charles, Chrison Joseph, Terry Lyons, Adrian Filbert, Irvin Alves, Chuck Gordon.
Special guests for Napa is Super Bandman, Dane Gulston, and the Lydian Singers.
Special guest for Sapa is world record holder Joshua Regrillo and the Southern Air Squire, MC Sonny Bling.
Tickets bought by this Saturday, 30th May, cost $25 less. If stocks last. For more info, call 491-1802.
Thank you, David.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
Hey man, where are you? Okay. You said 5 minutes. Anyone want dessert? Maybe he's stuck at the office?
Surprise!
Not yet, Carl.
Bro, I'm literally at the altar right now.
Relax. I'm almost there.
We're like the friend who isn't always late.
You have the rings.
CG United. Good like that.
Discover your favorite treat with Casey Candy Gummies. Sweet or sour, dive into a wave of fun shapes and flavors. Our halal gummies are made with fruit juices, and every bite is packed with fun, chewiness, and pure deliciousness. Perfect for an everyday snack, birthday parties, or lunch boxes. Make your snack time irresistible. And enjoy your day with Casey Gummies.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
We are more than headlines, more than stories on a page.
The Trinidad and Tobago Guardian newspaper, your favorite national newspaper, is relaunching its community feature section with one major focus in mind.
It's all about we Trinis.
We life and culture.
We heritage.
We health.
We food. We music.
We community.
We men.
We women.
We kids, yay! Everything we love and adore. We are every part of Trinidad and Tobago. And now, We is a space where every reader sees themselves reflected. Introducing We, The Guardian's bold new celebration, a magazine dedicated to irresistible stories and features that celebrate the very best of Trini life. our stories, our culture, our life.
Sportsmanship is when an athlete walks off the court and you can't tell if he won or lost because he carries himself with pride either way. This quote is an embodiment of sport, and for me, sport is an embodiment of life. We are where you are.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Well, on this Thursday morning, ASP Russell stepped in, and I know his shoulders are a bit weary with all what's happening. I know we're going to treat with road safety, and that's an important conversation, and we will get to that before 7 o'clock. But let me, before I ask a very pertinent question, as always, manners. Good morning to you, Officer Russell, and welcome as always. And thanks for being here. You didn't take a sick day. Your manners, come and face the music.
Good morning, Mr. Williams. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
I swear you're taking a sick day, no?
Commissioner of Police, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Assistant Commissioner of Police, and First and Second Division Officers of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. As usual, Mr. Williams, come rain, come sunshine, come the tense relationships, I'm here.
Of course, you are. And I want you to answer this for me because we're looking at the developments yesterday with 2 arrests, protests, obviously, based on the Kaya Sealy scenario. We would leave that alone for today. But I want to just treat. Yeah, I just want to treat with what happened yesterday. And I'm saying to myself, and this morning I said it in my monologue, it's almost like the protesters, okay, they were told not to protest. They went out. But again, nobody had any big stick in their hand. Nobody had any weapon. These were just people who are passionate about a issue that's up for public contemplation. They're raising their voice. That's all that's being done. And it's almost like they went knowing that this would be the reaction. We're seeing all the officers in their full regalia here. And it was almost embarrassing. It's almost like, oh, they take the chain up because, again, this man here from this arrest was totally, this was uncalled for. This man was by himself, just raising his voice outside administration building. What he get arrested for? I'm trying to figure out what is this? And you see, real makeout scene, cameras rolling, a total embarrassment to me, to be quite honest. And I find it could have, I mean, look, I mean, how? I just saw this yesterday and I'm saying, my goodness, how would it even reach to this? To me, I feel this is what the protesters wanted, you know. It's almost like they knew this would have been the reaction. Of course, you've seen your cameraman, photographer, front page everywhere. This is a big talking point today. And we have lost the crux of the moment as to why, you know, the bigger issue, which we'll get to in weeks ahead, you know, body cameras and all those different things. But what's your take? Was this response reasonable?
Mr. Williams, let me start by telling Trinidad and Tobago there are units, sections, divisions, and branches within Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. The Guard and Emergency branch is the unit that is trained and equipped to deal with situations like this. In the lead up, I remember asking on another program that persons, knowing that they have no permission, please do not go to do that. I pleaded. When you look at the area and the sensitivity of the area, being by the Director of Public Prosecution's office, that in itself creates an issue, right? This is the same DPP that when he gives instructions for officers to be charged, he's applauded by the public. The same DPP, you know? He's applauded. Based on the evidence and the facts placed before him, he made a decision. Everybody's calling for a resignation. Everybody's in uproar. I remember saying that allow the situation, allow the process to take its path. There is something called disclosure which takes place at the commencement of every trial, sufficiency hearing, and all these other processes have to be adhered to by way of the AJIPA. All the evidence that the police have must be given to the defense at that point in time. There was no hiding, there was no cover-up or anything. That situation yesterday, I mean, we called the unit that is trained to deal with it, and I'm sorry that you're not playing the audio because you would hear the police officer saying, okay, just go down by the zebra crossing.
Yeah, I heard that.
All they could have done, notwithstanding that they had no permission, is go back to the zebra crossing. You know, no one is highlighting that.
But this in terms of what the two folks got arrested for? What they got arrested for? I didn't hear no obscene language, especially the man. Well, he was just outside administration building, raising his voice.
Well, no charges has been laid yet, but let me tell you, under the emergency powers regulations, no one is to engage in any behavior or make any statement to entice or encourage persons to commit any crime or break the law within which they are doing an illegal protest. What if we had arrested more persons? We are not out there to come in conflict with the public, but the public, notwithstanding, look, Sunday, they had no permission for Sunday, no one was arrested. We understand the tensions, you know. We understand the pain, we understand the hurt. What we are asking as the TTPS is that allow the process to take place. All shall be ventilated within the courts.
Let me ask, and we're going to get some extra time. We're going to just do a time check at 6:59, and then we come back. But before we head to the road safety discussion, if you could explain to me really fast, how does a scenario, in terms of the escalation of a scenario, at what point you call out the guardian emergency? Because I would imagine officers in normal garb will talk first, and if they don't listen, at what point, I mean, these guys, they were close by, they were just in some room waiting to come out in the fancy regalia?
Well, we haven't given certain warnings that, you know, to ask them to Sunday, and you know, we focusing on this incident. But Sunday, we didn't even activate the guardian emergency branch. We came out and we held dialogue. We asked them to cease and desist. Lo and behold, the Wednesday. So they are saying, you're asking us to cease and desist. We are saying we are not ceasing, we are not going to cease and desist, and we're coming back on Wednesday. You know, we look, I have no problem with persons looking and analyzing, you know, but we must look at it from a balanced point of view, Mr. Williams. Because, you know, persons can't ask the police. I'm seeing the comments made by social media, and it turns into all sorts of, whether it's race, whether it's politics, and it's not even about that, you know. People want the police to uphold this law, but don't uphold that law. Enforce this one, but don't enforce that one. When I speed, don't give me a ticket. But when I late and I'm speeding, don't give me a ticket. But when I am on time and the next man speeding, give him a ticket. This is what people want. People want policing by convenience. We cannot do that. It's not like that. And even though they assemble without permission, no, we are not here to trample on anybody's rights. We ask them, please, you would hear the commands, please go down by the zebra crossing. In all fairness, I heard that. You would also hear that they're given the verbal commands. Why would a parent take a young child in the middle of that? And we were speaking about child safety and child care last week. Isn't that a risk in that child's life? What if the officers from guardian emergency had utilized tear gas? Why carry a child in that environment?
Well, that had happened by the Savannah. If you recall, there was a protest by the Savannah, if I'm not mistaken, it was around the COVID time, was it? And it had a child in the mix, and it was a whole fiasco. So we have seen unfortunate scenarios like that before. But you know what? I want to thank you for at least addressing it head on. We're going to run to a time check. And when we come back, Officer Russell, I want us to, again, just go into some of our road safety tips and just some reminders getting into not only this weekend, it's not to say it's a long weekend, even though there's a holiday, but at least just to keep it top of mind.
Yes,
so
definitely.
Let's treat for that time check and we come back with some road safety tips.
Okay, no problem.
Melt away fat, cellulite, and reduce stretch marks with Anshi Seaweed Defat Soap. Manufactured with 10 natural herbs, seaweed being the main ingredient. It draws fat and cellulite out of your body, leaving you with firmed, tightened, toned skin and a slimmer figure when used regularly. Experience the wonderful feeling in days. Notice the difference in weeks. Agents Modern Caribbean Enterprises Limited. Also available at Pennywise stores, pharmacies, supermarkets, cosmetic counters. Be sure to look for Modern Caribbean's name and logo on genuine Anchi products.
Time Check, brought to you by the Central Bank and the National Financial Literacy Program.
Officer Russell here with us. We were able to treat with, and I must say, I thank Officer Russell for dealing with it head on. And I guess it comes back down to compliance. I've always heard comply then complain. But just unfortunately, we find ourselves, especially with this scenario, in a kind of timing. And I guess it's about reading the room. And I hope I hope everyone is able to read the room, officers, authority, and the public at large. But when it comes to reading the room, we want folks to read the road. And that, to me, I was up to this morning, I was talking, and yesterday, interestingly, I was talking to my son. A lady put on a drive there on the highway. And I told him he's now in the process of getting his license. And I said, son, out here, the difference between going home and going to a funeral home is as simple as that kind of drive you just witnessed. So I keep on instilling that kind of mindset and value in him. Where are we as it pertains to road safety, and in terms of your response? I know Officer Batson is always here with us. A strong response to really stamp out that kind of unacceptable behavior, because you can't be everywhere.
Definitely.
But we see people still doing the most.
Well, Mr. Williams, as a driver, persons had a want to go back home to their loved ones. The change starts with you. I am not coming to drive your vehicle for you. And as we are now into the rainy season, granted it has not, the intensity of the rainfall hasn't commenced as yet, but notwithstanding that, we are asking drivers, we are pleading with drivers to ensure that their vehicle is roadworthy, it's inspected, your brakes are working, and you have on good tires, because the thread on your tires is to clear the water on the roadway. So smooth tires are a definite no-no, especially in the rainy season. We are asking for persons to monitor their speeds, as when the road is wet, it becomes slippery. So your stopping distances are increased. You don't stop immediately. We are asking persons to leave the cell phones alone, because when the rain starts to fall, you using the cell phone, the rain is an additional hazard. What you are doing.
I've seen a lot of people driving and texting. Boy, officer, I am blown away that people are driving and literally shooting a message head down,
Head down. And I have seen some driving, texting with a marijuana in the mouth.
Yeah, so men with big roll on. Is that normal? Is that because I don't see I've seen men with long roll on. ESP Russell, and to me it seemed like if it's anything goes.
So we have to really introduce the juggalizer test and really start getting it and rolling it out, because it's the same thing as if you're driving under the influence of alcohol. Remember, once you engage in that marijuana smoke,
to be impaired.
Definitely. So it slows down your reaction time and everything. So it's similar to alcohol. It impairs the chemical balance of the brain. So we are asking persons to desist from that, But Trinidad has become a society where I guess some persons just don't care. And if you stop them, is that issue, why you ain't going to run down the criminal? But you are not seeing the danger that you are placing, not only yourself, but other persons. So let's say you're driving under the influence of marijuana, but I ain't drinking no rum, but you're smoking marijuana, so you're high. You bongs on somebody.
Because the reality is, and you're saying that there, and in all fairness, because I'm a very fair and objective and honest person, and I live here, like everybody who's looking on. I think you all, if we really get serious and we roll out the kind of policing that will turn this country around, people would say, we live in a, they will ball in.
Police state or the police wicked?
Because, we all really give people a lot of blights, and I guess it's how do we strike that balance between the blight and at the same time being stern? Is there ever truly a sweet spot? Because again, it's really up to discretion. And in any kind of scenario, based on the interaction, is the difference between you getting charged and obviously getting a warning. But we lawless, man.
And this is what we are saying. So you look at yesterday's incident. Look, we're going back to the situation with the female in South. Ma'am, you're not supposed to smoke in public. So, out it, throw it on the ground. Ma'am, that is littering. You can't just litter in front of the police. Could you pick up your butt? On several occasions, they asked nicely. Of course, when she's taken into custody, and she was fined before the court. So she was found guilty and fined before the court for littering. Why can't you reach to that?
Yeah.
Humble yourself, pick up your butt, okay, sir, and you go your way.
You're touching an important word there. And you know what? I probably want us to stop today and expand on that next week in terms of humility and how the interaction goes between civilian and TTPS. I know obviously we set our topics, certain topics are set, but I would love for us at one point to really treat with that. What's the best practice? I humble myself all the time. But then again, there are some officers who come in so sharp that the sharpness is met by a level of sharpness by the public, and when sharp meets sharp, all you know is problems.
And that is it. But Mr. Williams, let me just highlight something. There's a process for everything. So if you get a ticket and you want to contest, there's a process to contest the ticket. No need to get into any arguments.
Yeah.
If you are charged before the court, you're entitled to bring your defense and all the evidence to support your matter. So what I'm asking Trinidad and Tobago is to just please allow the process, partake in the process, and let the process and the scales of justice work for you.
ESP Russell touching base, a very insightful and really heartfelt, very frank and honest police on you on this Thursday morning, and God spare, we will do it again next week. A matter of fact, no, next week is a holiday, so it will have to be the week after for some. Week after, goodness me. All right, hey, up next, Mental Health Matters with Johan Say. He steps in next. No, let me tell you, we see...
Your heart, brain, and body with omega-3. Packed with essential fatty acids, omega-3 helps support heart health, brain function, and overall wellness. Whether you're staying active, focused, or simply living life to the fullest, make omega-3 part of your daily routine. Live healthier with omega-3. Wellness that works from within. Tune in to Wellness Unlocked on CNC3 Sundays at 5 p.m., also on Monday and Wednesdays at 9:30 a.m.
There's a hole in the bucket.
Well, fix it, dear Johnny. Just fix it. And while you're doing that, remember the roof is leaking, the house needs painting, all those kitchen tiles need changing. So tell me, Johnny, what about the plumbing? The driveway needs paving. Plus, you promised to add a new room to the house. I find it's about time. Johnny, fix it.
There has never been a better time for a TBLA home improvement loan. Call us today at 623-1501 or visit us at tblamortgages.com.
Panadol's new formula, 5 times faster than other paracetamol brands. There's no time to waste during special moments. When I need fast pain relief, I choose Panadol Rapid. With its new formula and exclusive technology, it's 5 times faster than other paracetamol, giving me effective pain relief. And it's also gentle on my stomach. Because my greatest gift is giving them special moments.
Catch Sherwin Gardner live in Sold sold out on Saturday 6th June at the Magdalena Grand in Tobago and Sunday 7th at Napa Porta, Spain. Save $50 on tickets bought by Saturday 30th May. Available in Tobago, Cass Supermarket, Yachts Marketing, Orange Hill, Crosscutters, Scarborough, Caribbean Jewelers, Lowlands Mall, Victory Outreach Church, Scarborough, Dominion Appliances and Gift Shop, Conby, Tobago. In Trinidad, Crosby St. James, all Extra Food Supermarkets, Simon's Music Supplies, Ward Street, all Kenny's Sports Stores, Dominican Bookstore, St. Finbar's Compound. Online at islandetickets.com. For more info, call 358-6397. Sherwin Gardner, sold out.
You can make your goals unfold, go get it. You can live your dream, join the team, let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Rand Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve big goals, small ones too. Rand Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Rand Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Heart disease is the #1 cause of death in Trinidad and Tobago, driven by two silent threats, diabetes and high cholesterol. But now there's a powerful ally, introducing Berberine Plus by Asia Nutrition, clinically proven to stabilize blood sugar and keep cholesterol levels in check. With 99.9% pure extract, you get superior absorption and real results. Available now at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus, your heart deserves better.
Well, Johannes is here with me, as always, live on set for the Mental Health Matters. And today, our behavioral change consultant is bringing up a topic called, I had a mind. You know, that's local vernacular now. I had a mind. I guess it could be interpreted so many different ways. It's basically how you see it and is what part of the conversation you will see it. What do you get from I had a mind?
All right, well, morning, Jason. Morning to everybody. Now, I had a mind. Today we're going a little non-scientific, right? Because when people had a mind, what really that is. Now, I'm asking that question because I've noticed, so I go in with patterns I've noticed, is that people who follow their mind, wherever their mind is, right, however you describe it, there's a correlation between people who follow that have higher self-esteem. Right? And then people who decide to follow it develop higher self-esteem. So it's more like being able to trust yourself. So I start on that base, tell me your thoughts, and we can move on.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you could also look at it from the perspective of, you know, a truth being revealed and accepting it, knowing that it was always there. It's like, I really had a mind that she was or he was XYZ.
But the thing is, where's get that from? Now,
it's a feeling, right? It's like almost like an intuition, really.
Right. You see that word you use, because everyone has different spiritual, religious beliefs. Even if it's non-spiritual, some people say that is the universe, it's a higher self, it's the Holy Spirit. They use different words.
The third eye, some people call it.
Correct. And that's why I say it's a little non-scientific. But if I go in with trends, and what I've realized is that, and this is no lie, 100% of the time, when clients I have do follow the mind, something has happened contrary to them.
It's true, yeah, because remember, there is that check and balance within. I think, again, you could look at it from a spiritual realm, from emotional intelligence, from like lived reality experience, especially with smart people. There's a certain rhythm and a particular cadence and a style in that smart men or smart women
will come around. Smart, so what, intelligent or
con artists, right. Yeah. No, yeah. When we say, like, we talking even vernacular now. So when a smart man come around and they're offering something that, one, too good to be true, and just the rhythm, and then you get catch with his scheme, and then you say, boy, I had a mind, he was a smart man, you know. So half the time, to you, I think, you know, it goes back to what you always talk about, truth, and the fact that so many of us, we ignore the truth. We try to live in a reality or convince ourselves that something not real, and we have to blame ourselves because you had a mind.
Correct. And that smart man, how we just catch people is that people who have lower self-esteem because you know something wrong, but you don't trust your own self. Now, I'm relating it back to mental health because many times what causes us anxiety or even distress is being in two minds about something. You understand? But most times when you're in two minds is when you fighting that first thought you had, the first intuition you have. Sometimes it might make sense to you, so now you're questioning it, but it makes sense. And then when you do it, I had a mind.
You think some of us are afraid to say no, you want to say?
Correct.
Because no.
Afraid of no.
You're afraid to say no. You don't want to make somebody feel away. Where that come from?
That is low self-esteem, you know, right? And so when I say it like that, some people say, no, I don't have low self-esteem. But you're afraid to stand up for what you believe because you don't want to. You're afraid to offend somebody. You're afraid to look quote unquote bad. Some people even are afraid to reject people. It's easier let me just get them. Sometimes even people like we say somebody come and beg you for money. I could tell you, I've spoken to people who beg for money. They just look for people who look like a self-esteem, who don't look too confident, and ask that person because that person easier or most likely to give them because I don't want to deal with the confrontation or deal with it, so I'll just give them something quick.
You know, I wonder sometimes how people walk around the city, headphones on, with the screensaver on serious. It's almost like a self-protection, really. You make yourself look as menacing as possible because you don't want nobody come and talk to you. You don't want nobody beg you for money, especially with the woman. The woman don't want a man come up with no small talk. So most times you'll tell a woman, hey, good morning. They're not going to respond because it's almost like
a defense mechanism. You don't want no interaction. Based on your reality, and you close yourself off. And I don't know how we got to that, man. I guess I had a mind because someone when I had a mind, they might say hello. They might respond, and then the guy want to get a number, and then they'll be like, I had a mind, this man was really correct. And I'm a point on it. The fact that we even have this saying, I had a mind, means that so many of us, I tell you, Jason's 100%, from people who experience car accidents and counseling them through the trauma, everybody, something tell me not to drive.
Yeah, I should not go that time.
Listen, every single time, even students, right? Because, right now it's C-Sec time. Students I had two students. One say, I'm checking over my work, right? But I know my answers right, but I know it right, but they tell me check over and you overthink it, and then you change from the right thing to the wrong thing. Or I know that I'm supposed to study this, but I didn't. And then when it come in the exam, I had a mind.
Lastly, as we mentioned that scenario of no, I've come to the place where I realize I don't even have to explain my no anymore, For some reason, people, I don't know we're going to wrap things up now, but people are afraid to say no, and even more so, they have to explain, You don't really have to explain your no to nobody, I think you teach me that. No is no. No is no. I don't have to explain my no.
And that is the thing, and I say not because even for your mental health, everybody, right, and this might sound strange, but everybody knows what's best for them, but we just question it.
You want to say you have the final say?
Nation, follow what you think is best for you. Don't doubt yourself, and don't make life complicated, because even though life is not easy, it's really not that hard. Thank you for listening.
Yes, I agree. Well said, you answer. And when you say no, Nation, no is no. You don't have to explain your no to nobody. I used to always be able to know because thing and no is no. All over the world, no is no. Right?
Correct.
Yes, man. Great conversation. Well, we have next Thursday off, so we'll meet the following Thursday.
Right.
That's right. Up next, my good friend Sherwin Winchester joins me to give us details concerning the Vineyard. Big session happening at St. Xavier's Private School. That's the school my son went to. Great school there in St. Joseph. Sherwin, up next.
Welcome to a new era of driving in Trinidad and Tobago. Hi, I'm Jamie, brand manager for Omoda and Jayco, two global automotive brands, redefining style, technology, and performance. These brands are built on innovation, precision engineering, and forward-thinking design. Whether you're drawn to modern sophistication or bold capability, there's something here for you. Let me introduce to you the Omoda C5, a sleek, turbocharged crossover designed for everyday style and comfort. The Jayco J6, a rugged, all-electric SUV built for adventure on or off the road. The Jayco J7, available in petrol and plug-in hybrid, combining efficiency with refined performance. And the Jayco J8, a premium SUV experience where luxury meets advanced technology. Omoda and Jayco, designed for those who expect more out of every drive. This is just the beginning.
Recession have you down? Don't lose hope. Head on down to Tire Clinic for the recession deals. That should big savings with our road hazard warranty on Dunlop 2021 Falcon tires. Available at Tire Clinic, Cuba, Chaguanas, and Pleasance Park. Tire Clinic, a tire for every need. Call 636-8973 or 636-2958.
Panadol's new formula, 5 times faster than other paracetamol brands. There's no time to waste during special moments. When I need fast pain relief, I choose Panadol Rapid. With its new formula and exclusive technology, it's 5 times faster than other paracetamol, giving me effective pain relief. And it's also gentle on my stomach. Because my greatest gift is giving them special moments.
Welcome back to the program on this Thursday morning. Now, I'll tell you, once you're in media or entertainment and your child enters a school, you know, it's only natural that we get involved. Now, my son went to St. Xavier's and I would give back via hosting little shows and stuff, but I could tell you, show in Winchester, I took it a step even further by really getting intimately involved with the school body to bring, not just on this occasion, but numerous occasions, a truly amazing event to the space that's in real time being able to enhance not only the infrastructure, but we're talking here the overall feel of the school. And I have to say, Sherwin, man, well done. You know, you really, I mean, I did my little part, huh? I do my little part, but you took it to a whole different level. And I know the St. Xavier's, from the principal to the teachers to the entire organization, they're truly blessed to have your daughter there, to have you there. And this vineyard, from all reports, it's been a big one for many years. How many years now you're doing this event with St. Xavier's?
This would be good morning.
Good morning and welcome, Sherwin. Good to see you, man.
Always. And thanks. TNT, good morning. This is the 3rd edition of the vineyard.
My goodness. Wow, Sherwin, well done.
Thank you.
What a celebration. Is it happening actually at the school?
Yes, we're using the car park at the top where the teachers would park. We have there already under that big salmon tree. Folks just come in, the ambience set. You know that feeling you get below there with that nice, the stars come out at that hour, and you just sit back, you bring your lawn chairs, you open your chairs, you bring your cooler.
Is that kind of vibe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cooler, food inclusive. And
Excellent.
we go all out. It's not a fundraiser where, and I want to make sure I say this correctly, sometimes people hear fundraiser and it's treated like, oh yeah, it's a fundraiser. No.
It's a fundraiser.
It's a fundraiser, but it's an event that you come and you get all the perks of the normal events you would have. The only difference is you are doing such a worthy cause. You are doing something so great. Your funds, instead of a raffle sheet coming home to a parent and saying, okay, can you donate this because you want to raise funds for this? And it takes a long time, you know that, to get that. And as a parent, we're being real. Sometimes you're studying, you're paying the school fee and like, oh my gosh, our next raffle boy? So we decided, let's give the parents something that you come and enjoy yourself, bring out auntie, the grandma, bring out the community, and the same funds go towards that cause, and that's what we're doing.
So Sherwin, as it pertains to this event, Saturday the 6th, the first Saturday in June, I'm seeing start time around 5. Walk me through the cast, what's on offer via the entertainment side.
All right, for the entertainment, we went out I'm so proud. Firstly, let me start by saying that Sherwin Winchester is not the star of this event. I'm not the star of this organization. I'm just the face and name. But each person, each act, the committee, a small committee doing it, made it possible. So just to make sure I don't leave out any names, because you know how that goes, I want to start off. We have with us this monarch, the Calypso monarch of TNT. Terry Lyons is coming to give us a fantastic performance. We have added to the cast Destra Garcia. Yeah, he's coming on board. We have representing that jazz segment, Tony Paul on sax. Fantastic work that he puts down. And for the jazz as well, we have Miss Vaughnette Bigford coming on board to give us a great performance. We have yours truly, Sherwin Winchester, and the band You. And I know we have as well representing in the jazz segment, Nissa with her background vocals. So we have two bands coming out on that evening to give you a performance. And if I have to say, we have the ladies ready. So we have the Vaughnette, we have Nissa, we have Destra Garcia, we have Terry Lyons, and we have, as the men coming out to represent, Sherwin Winchester and the band You, and Tony Paul. Get ready for a show, get ready for hits. We are well rehearsed and ready.
Fantastic show. And in terms of the funds that will be raised on the day, what's the target, what's the projection in terms of infrastructural improvement for the school with the funds?
This year we are going behind the library. The goal is to enhance the library, update. We have some little things that we need to fix in the library, and then we want to bring the standard up, put a computer in, do some work on the wall. In the past, we've done 16 air-conditioned units for St. Xavier's, and we then put in a computer lab. For Convent, we did 13 air-conditioned units. For Bishop Anstey Junior School, in St. Anne's, we did 13 ACs for them. And now we're going behind the library. And after that, we're heading to Grandy to do a playing field for a school there.
Because you do other events also. I mean, I know that, you know, the St. Xavier scenario is personal, and it's that particular connection with your child there. But I know that you also extend this to other schools, from what I understand.
We launched Team A Plus to take on any educational facility. Now, there's something I wanted to make sure people understand. I know at times people would think, well, it's a prep school. No, it's not that. Sometimes a private school, they are able to give that, yes, we are ready to partner and do this, more than you would go through with a school that has, of course, the protocol to follow. But anytime a school is ready, any school, TNT, any school, once you are ready, we are there to assist. And we come on board, we bring the template, we do the show, help you out, and then we move on to the next school. So we have schools until December, and then we go straight over into January for our events.
Now, well done, Sherwin, because obviously, you know, we have recognized in real time events, especially some events generate the most revenue when it comes to refurbishment and updating a school. We have seen it time and time again. And it happens more or less some of the big schools, of course, inside the carnival segment for the all-inclusives. But for the schools that not looking to do something in carnival or can't really put on a show of that scale, you could start on that level in the schoolyard and tap into the pool of talent that's within the said school or even the past pupils. It makes total sense.
And what I'm happy about seeing is the parents now have something. You have something of your own that you could come out. You could invite friends from outside, and that's what's happening. It's no longer just a school event that parents coming, because we made the event an event that could stand up on its own, and that's the goal.
Where we can get tickets as we wrap things up for the Vineyard?
You go to St. Xavier's Private School, and the number for St. Xavier's Private School, 662-2784, or you could go to Simon's Music Supply and get your tickets there. Please come out, get your tickets. A fantastic show awaits you. We have Vaughnette, Destra, we have Terry Lyons, yours truly, Sherwin Winchester, Tony Paul, Nissa. We are all ready. The food will be ready, dessert station ready, food inclusive cooler event. Remember, bring your pool chairs. You could open up the chairs, choose your spot. You have your cooler. The food, the entertainment is all on us. We are ready for you. Get ready for a night you will not forget, the 6th of June. Team A Plus and St. Xavier's Private School, the Vineyard, food inclusive, cooler event. Oh, na, na, na. Oh, na, 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 na.
Showing respect and manners, man. Well done, bro. Well done from a former parent of a St. Xavier student. I really love this. This is tremendous.
Thank you.
Tremendous. Good stuff. Sherwin Winchester touching base with us. Vineyard, the first Saturday in June. I'm going to make way. Ian steps in for that morning shot, the in-depth look at sport. God spare, I'm back for more tomorrow. Up next, though, my colleague, Ian Weeson.
Legends need to be celebrated while they can still hear the applause. Trinidad and Tobago, let's show our appreciation for this Calypso giant in Thank You, David.
Saturday, June 6th at Napa, Port of Spain. Sunday, June 7th at Sapa, San Fernando.
2 nights, one legend, countless unforgettable songs.